Hello and welcome to Paper Tuesdays, where we're going to be covering your favourite topics such as the Bike to Work scheme, Ryan Tuberty and Santa Claus.
And Santa Claus, I see.
Michael is on an unaccidental fast. An accidental
one. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but I'm full of beans, full of excitement.
False. He is not full of beans. You haven't eaten beans.
No, I haven't. No. And I'm 70% water. So yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Same as Mother Earth, I believe.
Is that so?
I don't know actually. Earth is like 80%, is it?
Yeah.
Water, and we're 70%.
Yeah.
So when Bruce Lee says "be like water," he's saying "be yourself." Thank you, Bruce. Michael, what inspired the fast?
What inspired the fast? I'm doing a bit much today, but I think that there's a lot of a need for letting the gut heal itself.
Okay.
And I think you can only do that by not eating this. Now we're going to do an experiment, Mark. Okay. So if you put your thumb and your middle finger together.
Okay.
And you're going to get.
I've seen this one before.
I can't fool you. I can't fool you. Right, so now you put your your index finger in between the two. Okay. Right. So now this is so now we're going to think about something. Okay. So we're going to think about.
I know what I'm thinking about.
Okay, so we're going to think about Adolf Hitler. Okay.
Okay.
So just think about Adolf Hitler now. Hold your stance and try to pull the index finger towards you. Through
it.
Like try and see if you can bring the index finger out of the. So you can't.
I'm getting there.
Oh, you did get there.
I got there.
Okay.
Now I don't know. I kind of wandered off from Adolf Hitler into the fact that I'm trying to get my finger through.
Okay, well, we got you. Okay. Reset. So back. Now we're going to think about Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And we're going to try and bring it out.
It's not working.
Oh, there you go.
I seen a reel like that.
Did you?
It wasn't this exact one, but it was like a guy on a lad's shoulders.
All right.
He was like, think of a time you were really loved in your life. And he tried to push his arms. He had his arms out like that and his shoulders were being pushed down on. He said, try to think of a time where you felt really loved in your life, and he tried to push his shoulders down and he couldn't move them. He was like, now think of a time you felt shame or guilt in your life. And he thought about it and he was able to push his arms down. Your man turned around and he was like, I'm trying really hard here on both of them.
That's mad.
Okay, so Michael, what's the lesson from?
Well, that's a muscle test, and it can be used for everything. I only learned about this last night, and it's quite useful because you can muscle testing is the basis for kinesiology and what we were talking about before about the gut and being allergic to certain foods and what might be beneficial for your GERD and all sorts of different things. Testing allergies and that sort of thing, Mark.
Okay.
So the next time when you want to decide about something or you want to tune into your body, I think it's an easy way of just figuring out. I even did it earlier where I said, "Cran forward." and
it went straight out.
But then Nevena, it's just
solid
that little
as a rock. Solid as a rock. We could have done the stats on that one, I suppose.
So that's an interesting thing. What else did I want to tell you about? I brought Alan McPartlin to
Burb in parlance.
In parlance, indeed, to the Nevena match. He's home from Dubai for 6 weeks, and we were just regaling stories. And it's mad. The time has flown by. He spent the last 4 years in Dubai.
Really,
he's entering his 4th year.
Jesus,
it seems. Yeah, it is a long time. And anyway, we were just talking about how the change that he's witnessed in the culture over there recently. Legislation has passed that if you're not married, you can live together in the same place, like a man and a woman, but apparently that practice was taking place regardless, so little legislative changes are coming more as Dubai becomes more westernized. However, we were just on the way down the R741, my favourite road in the world, which is the old road to Wexford, like via Ballycanoe and Castlebridge. Yes, I love it. It's such a ramble.
Simple but effective.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I waved at a magpie, and Alan goes, "You're waving at birds, Michael?" And I said to him, that's the reason I'm still in Gorey and you're in Dubai. Because I'm still waving at magpies.
Yeah, you never waved at the magpies.
Yeah.
And that's why you're gone.
Yeah. Do you wave at magpies?
No, I don't. James does.
James does,
he'll always wave at a magpie.
Yeah.
And I won't get it. You bless yourself, come past graveyards as well.
I do, yeah.
Which I always forget about until I'm actually in a car with you, and then you'll do it and I'll remember.
Yeah, but that's the biggest problem we have with religion at the moment, because it's not like you're beating yourself up that you don't bless yourself by going to graveyard. It's just like, it's like taking a drink. It's like taking a 7-Up. It's like, it's just be you, man.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, so like, what do I? Yes, I do it, but it's kind of it's tradition or something. It's just something in me bones or something. But then I was in Enniscorthy today and I saw an ambulance drive by and a woman on the other footpath and she blessed herself.
Really?
There you go. There's faith in action. Interesting.
Before you arrived, me and Shane were out doing videos for my fitness page, and the guards went past, chasing a car.
Oh,
Up
in
the road.
Castletown?
Yes, it looked like
Over
two young lads in
Monday?
the car. Yeah, on a
My
Monday
gosh.
afternoon in Castletown.
That's
what it looked
unusual.
like now. More on this as we get it.
Yeah, as we get it.
I went to Mass last week or the week before.
Oh yeah,
It was good. It was good Mass.
good man.
Priest was good, efficient. I listened to the whole sermon and I paid attention. It was good. It was good. I think it's nice. I think it's nice that the community, or what's left of it, will come together and come to the one place and agree for an hour to concentrate on something bigger than themselves, to recognise the fact that they're not the whole of the whole, that there's a whole that they're a part of, and they're coming together to pay recognition to that fact. Whatever the circumstances, whatever the religion is, I like that. Because we live in such an individualised world now, where it's all about me, here's my arse, like it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes I'm just dwelling on the arse there for a little bit, Mark.
Yeah, as you should. Like it.
But for me, like that's been the biggest, one of the biggest indicators for me that there's something a little bit off here, and I'd like to practice my faith a little bit more, because like it's funny just when you see how TikTok and everything is constantly auctioning and bidding for your attention, and it's like like we've grown up with social media and it was grand, so it was Facebook and whatever.
Have we though?
I don't, not to the same extent.
Not to
probably
the same extent. It came about kind of in our mid to late teens, I'd say, Snapchat. As I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. It just felt though that we were, I suppose millennials, we get to learn as we go.
Yeah.
So like we were able to master Snapchat in secondary school.
We kind of grew
and bring it with us.
We grew alongside social media, whereas the younger generation, social media is already developed.
Yes.
And it knows what it's doing.
Yes.
Like TikTok.
Yeah.
Imagine being a 12-year-old with TikTok, like.
Yeah. And like when we probably started Snapchat, I see now what you're saying, like when we probably started Snapchat, it was probably a startup, like.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
An established job. So we're saying about Snapchat, and then we had a little camera technical difficulty. But Mark, it's funny you bring up going to Mass last week, because you told me we were recording this of a Monday thanks to Shane Halpin Marketing, and the reason we couldn't do it of a Sunday is because you were at the Ballyfad Pattern.
The Pattern. Repping. 2 patterns. No, actually I wasn't at the Castellan Pattern last week, but the Castellan one was last week, the Ballyfad one was this week. We were late, unfortunately. Sorry. Nora was there, she couldn't stand still, she was running all over the graveyard up to the far end of Ballyfad. So it was grand. Normally fairly boring, kind of sombre affair. Rain held off. Not much more to write home about.
But it's a good report, I have to say. And we could get you a job at Wexford GA. But it's a very scenic graveyard. Looks over North Wexford.
Yeah. Really
and another factor is the family connections, the family ties. You could have easily decided not to go to the Pattern, but you said, no, we're going to go to the Pattern.
Yeah. I don't mind the Pattern. I like the outsideness, and you kind of see people there, and yeah.
It's just the tradition, and it's family, and it's connected. And that, Mark, leads me to what I've been researching, which is Ireland's best patterns.
Oh ho!
I looked at the truck camera. Ireland's best patterns. So we've got 3 or 4 contenders anyway, if I can find them here on my little phone pocket. But
What, in your eyes, what makes a good pattern?
what makes it good? Well, do you know what? I haven't been good to the patterns lately because Gorey is thronged, absolutely thronged with people
Yes.
on the last Sunday in August. And I haven't gone to many of the recent ones. But what makes a good one? Well, there's some... I think the contender for pattern, the best pattern ever, Mark,
Okay.
is St. Mullins in Carlow.
Okay.
So it goes back way back to... It's a 1,300-year-old tradition.
Wow.
Linked to St. Moling, and whose name is derived St. Mullins, and St. James. So the feast is the closest feast. It takes place the Sunday closest to the feast day of St. James. And see, I'm not sure if it is totally connected to it, but it's interesting the St. James connection to this part of Ireland. So say from Dublin down to Wexford and Carlow, because there was a tradition not only of the Camino. Like the Camino in Spain is St. James pilgrimage, and it's all the walking. And there's talk that there was an Irish pilgrimage route that started at St. James's Gate in Dublin, where Guinness, and went all the way down through Wicklow, and then would have gone through places. I'm trying to think of places along the way. Hackettstown?
Would that be Wicklow, Tinnahealy down in Carlow?
That would have been the general route. But it follows, I don't know much of it, but I know that it's also the reason why, say, Ramsgrange is St. James's down there.
Yeah.
And then when you get closer to Ballyhack and Duncannon, those were places where where pilgrims would have left to go to Spain and done the Camino there.
Right. So they would have walked to the boat, and the boat would have went over, and then they would have walked.
Yeah.
And then they would walk back home.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the theory. Anyway, it's very interesting. So, anyways, in St. Molings, they have this massive event where they have a pilgrimage. Starts with the blessing of the water of the well, and the wells obviously it's meant to have been the home of many cures. And St. Moling has attracted many pilgrims for many reasons, because there's a good few famous people buried in the graveyard, including St. Moling, Art Kavanagh, who was buried there in 1417 after being poisoned in New Ross, apparently.
Wow, who was Art?
He was the King of Leinster.
Oh, right, wow.
Yeah. So the King of Leinster was poisoned in New Ross.
No, there's no shock there, is there?
And then who else have we got? General Thomas Clooney, who was killed in 98. And it's a very well known one, but there's something about it just that they have a great crack at that, and I think they dress up as if they were from the Middle Ages in St. Mullins every year. And there's a moat there, and local tradition says that that's where Fionn McCool was buried. And but I tell you now, I'd say that's as real as when we went to Galway. There was a little small fence or something, and the woman on the walking used to say, and I tell them that the leprechauns go through there every year or something like that.
This is the transition year?
Petersburg, yeah, I think that's where, yeah. So, and then on St. Mullins anyway, there was a bit of commentary about it back in 1930s when there was folklore going, and I love this little line. It says, speeches were made, the old rebel songs were sung, Celtic games were played, and the grand old Irish dances delighted all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they still do that in the
St.
pattern.
Mullins. In the pattern.
In the Gorey pattern last year, I seen a man drinking a bottle of Budweiser.
Yeah.
And wearing a suit and sunglasses.
Did you see a few ladies wearing belts?
Belts?
Yeah.
Belts, no. Why do they wear belts?
They're short skirts.
Oh, belts, yes, very good, very good. I did see a few of those,
That's
alright.
a bad dad joke. Good ahead of time there.
Yeah, you are.
So was Gorey is probably one of the most well-attended patterns in the country. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's a great day out.
A great day out.
I love it.
Do you?
I love it. I love the spectacle.
The spectacle, yeah.
I love the mayhem, the spectacle, just all of it. All of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is. And I didn't really have a reason to go until I am marrying into Breed's family, and she has family buried there. I don't really. So now I get to go every year, and I love it.
It's another one to add to the list. Yeah.
3 patterns now. It's class. I love a good pattern.
Right.
Do you like?
No, it doesn't have everything for me, Mark. I'm sorry. Like, I get the whole, you go to the grave and the prayers and all, but like, I'd like if there was tea afterwards, or if there was a field day or something.
Yeah, if they had like a coin toss for a goldfish at the pattern or something.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a candy floss machine.
Yeah, I want something that, I don't know, it's like the reason why coffee stalls have risen up, or maybe someone should be selling coffee at the pattern, yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll chalk it down.
The pattern coffee.
Have we any more patterns?
Yeah, we've another one, Auchavass in County Leitrim. The reason why I picked this one was, well, the Irish Times went to the pattern there a few years ago, and but I've picked it mainly because, right, so there was this parish in Leitrim, Auchavass, very small townland. It's a townland that's not even a village. And before the famine, there was a population of 14,000 in this parish.
Wow.
And today, there are 700 people living in the parish.
Jesus.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was our population much higher before the famine than it is now?
It was, yeah, but could
Really?
I tell you, yeah.
Because we're fairly crowded at the minute.
We are, yeah. But they didn't have apartment blocks.
They didn't.
They were happy with 13 to a room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But life was different back then as well. Like, I think, I often wonder how they had the babies, like, because we're all living in the same room.
Okay, so we'll start at the beginning of the podcast again.
No, but apparently, like the I don't know now. Apparently, people go out and cuddle up in the countryside, and then apparently, what else was it? Apparently, what was something else? Oh, I heard. I don't know if it's true that people back hundreds of years ago, they didn't sleep for one block of time. They didn't sleep for the 7 to 9 hours, as Huberman said. They'd sleep for 3 or 4 hours. They'd wake up, and then they go back to bed in an hour or so, and they go for another 3 or 4 hours
at night time, or just whenever.
At night time.
There are people who espouse this. Like, there's a fella I seen a reel on Instagram. He said he lives 6 days in one day, or something like 6. But he'd sleep in like 90-hour blocks. Cristiano Ronaldo done that or something, didn't he?
Couldn't let him.
Yeah. Paddy Houlihan, the MMA fighter, as well done it, I think, where he had one day a week where he stayed up all day, and then he would like sleep more in the following days. I don't know. I have heard that as well. It's not like why they do the siestas in Spain, no?
Yeah.
Because that's the way they sleep.
Something. And it's probably connected to circadian rhythm theory or something like that as well.
But we did that here, apparently.
Yeah, that's what it's just in the back of my head when looking up this before. But yeah, we got to this by saying about housing. Oh, a lot of population. Yeah, that might be for next week's podcast, Mark. About living conditions in the past with a crowded population.
Just on this note, there is a documentary series out now called 19 Kids and Counting. Have you seen this?
No.
Well, allow me. It's about this fella and his wife, obviously, and guess what? They had 19 kids. But they had 19 kids. They were part of this. Shane, have you seen it? Shiny, Happy People. They had 19 children. And there was a TLC. TLC is like Discovery in America, I think. And it was a huge, huge show in America at the time, about maybe 15 years ago. And this looked like this perfect family. They were a Christian family, but they were fundamentalist to some degree. And now there's all this stuff coming to light about this guy called Bob Goddard or something. And basically he robbed everyone's money from this organization or whatever. Very interesting documentary. And they were all homeschooled and kind of, they weren't allowed to go to other schools or talk to other people and stuff like that. And like it cost a fucking fortune to send them there. It was around the same time as segregation in America. So the families that didn't want their children amalgamating with the African Americans would send them there. So they made loads of fucking money. But basically all those people came out of it and the education was so bad that they can't really get jobs or anything now.
Oh.
So that's an interesting documentary. Another documentary that I was watching last night was Secret Eaters. And this is the fucking best. Are you still okay? Secret Eaters.
Right.
So I watched the first episode last night, and this shouldn't be funny because this is my job is in helping people lose weight. But this is So it's like the old E4 documentaries, basically. And there's this brother and sister, and they're struggling to lose weight, and they think they're eating. They say, "I'm eating the daily government guidelines for me." So like it's whatever, 2,000 for men, 1,800 for women, I think is what they give. And they say, "I'm not losing weight." So what they do is they put them into the same house, and they live there. And they say, "I want you to eat the same way you're eating. We're just going to film you in the house. We're going to have cameras set up, just to make sure that, you know, you are eating what you say you're eating." So they log their food and they get recorded on everything, but they don't tell them that they have 2 private investigators following them around outside. And at the end of it all, they show them the tapes and they lay all the food they actually ate out in front of them. And it just absolutely, you watch these people die inside when they realise how caught out they are. Like there was, your man, like, they go to him. And Philip, you said on the weekend, you have 2 pints. When in reality, you had 17 pints. And his face just fucking drops. It's so funny. It's so funny. So I'd recommend that Secret Eater.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, well, there could be more now that, yeah, there's a lot going on in that. Do you ever think, though, sometimes that people are struggling to make a change because there's too much emotion weighed into the change?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of it is fear as well. And the fear of loss. So we fear loss more than we appreciate possible benefits. You know, if you lost a tenner, if you lost €20, you'd be more upset about that than finding €20, that adage or whatever you call it. I think it's the same. It's like drinking. I was thinking about yesterday, I went for a run after we were out because I wasn't drinking. I felt okay to run. I was like, it's not about giving up drinking. It's about what I'm getting back. So I get my Sundays back. I get the money I would have spent back. I get an extra day a week back. All that stuff. That's what I'm getting. It's not what I'm giving up. I'm giving up drinking, but I'm actually getting a lot more. So when people think about losing weight, they're thinking I'm giving up food or I'm giving up this. But it's like, well, what are you going to gain though? Like that's what you should think about and it's hard because that's hardwired into you, is that loss aversion is stronger, but if eventually you can kind of train yourself to see the positives, which is going to be like, you know, you're going to feel more confident in yourself. You're going to have more self-confidence in the fact that you can manage your food better. You have a better relationship with your food, like your clothes fit better, you have less risk of heart disease, you're more able to play with your children, you're more able to do stuff, perform better, train, become athletic. But still you're afraid of losing your fucking 6-pack of donuts on a Friday. That matters more than what you could possibly gain. It's about overcoming that, I suppose. And you don't like the word overcome, but I think that is kind of what that is in that sense. Yeah,
I'm funny when it comes to words, so I can get really angry. But I was fine with it there. The last time you said it sounded like an inner battle, and I didn't like that. It was kind of like it was just difficult. But I'm okay with that, Mark, and you're okay. But speaking, I feel like a rule now how I let you off there with that. Also, I'm going to tell you about a referee. There was a Junior A hurling game in Wexford last weekend, and there was a man was fouled, and a penalty was called, and the referee gave the offender a black card, and of course the black card is not in hurling yet.
No.
So not in club hurling, not in hurling, and so there was consternation, and the team were trying to say, "Hey, it's not a rule," and the referee said, "Oh, look, I know it's not a rule, but I'm not changing my mind now."
That is refereeing, baby. That is refereeing. Apparently there was a lad overturned his decision in the Monaghan match, was it? Because of a replay on the cameras?
Yeah, the ball went like the Dublin, I think it was McCaffrey, kind of just fell out of his hand, went over the line, and the umpire had given a 45, and then everyone's kind of watching it on the big screen and telling the crowd went mental because it was clear that he just dropped it out, and the umpire probably wasn't close enough to see that there was no touch, so then the ref just overturned it then, like after watching it on the big screen.
That's good though. That's good. Yeah.
We're growing,
yeah. But there was no big screen at the match. Well, I don't think a big screen would have solved that in a rural part of County Wexford. What else about were you going to say something?
Have you listened to David Goggins' audiobook?
Like his original, the OG one?
Yeah.
You recommended to me, and I listened to it on the flight back from Australia, and I was in Australia 4 years ago, so yes.
Ooh, 4 years ago? Jesus Christ. Where does the time go?
Oh, I know.
Where does the time go? Where is the past at the moment?
Yeah. I don't know.
My experience of the past is different to your experience of the past. Yeah. So the past is in me.
Yeah.
The actual
now we're
past,
hurling.
where is that past being held?
I don't know. But okay, first of all, I'm more interested in where time in general.
Is it in Martin the caretaker's office in GCA?
No, I don't think so. Is it in, where else would it be?
Fab's bag.
Fab's bag.
Fab's
That's
bag.
where time.
The past. And that's why no one wants to look there.
Yes.
No one wants to look at the past.
But
That makes
past. Fab will hold on to the past.
And last week's lot of books, yeah.
And next week's.
But like Fab's bag, so if you seem to have the past and the future, but like time is eternal, and
Time is a turtle. Okay, we're going to be here for a while.
yeah, no, I just like you don't have to agree, but like I might not nail it in one, but like there's something beautiful about time that like is we're outside of time, that like you say there at the moment, and different. We said before about different realities, right? And there's this story or an analogy that I read of like this painter was painting a field of corn, and he wanted to paint actually what was going on there, so he painted the field of corn, and then when he finished, he realized, oh no, I left myself out of it because I'm part of it. So then he put himself in it. Then he thought, oh no, I didn't putting myself back into it. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. So that whole story as an analogy is imagining what reality can be like. That, yes, life can be up and down and turbulent or whatever, but if we go back and we think about that we are the creators of such reality, then it offers a different view altogether.
Have you read The Secret?
I have, yeah.
I have not. I'm beginning it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Right.
I've gave up on Filter This. I have just went too long without reading the rest of woman's fictional book. So I'm going to read The Secret. Breed had it at home in her own house, so I brought it in. I'm going to read it at night. I only read the first page last night. So I'm looking forward to that. What's your experience of it?
It's kind of I don't want to preempt your version, but like it's kind of like the hackneyed version of Law of Attraction or whatever. Like it's kind of like
is that not what it is?
Be something to it, but
is that not the
it's
book?
Probably actually the source. Yeah. But like, yeah. See, it kind of just is though. So that's why when attraction, I think when I read Law of Attraction and stuff, you're kind of like you're chasing it, and it's all or nothing. Whereas I prefer the idea of it just is that we're in an abundant world, and eventually things will filter out. You know that phrase that you hear, like there are no limits, and like when it comes to your mind, there certainly are no limits. But like when we're in a 3D reality, everything is contained by touch. But what you say about the past and where is it that it's only your experience of it, like that's formless. That's without form.
It's the form I've put on the past.
Yeah.
Through my own
but you can't hold it either though. So you could just throw it away. You could just decide, no, I don't like that version of it. Look at success as well. Like Donald Trump. What sort of reality does Donald Trump choose? He decides he's just going to be the best no matter what. It doesn't matter what level of intelligence. When you see so many rich people, rich people are not the most intelligent people. They're just they're something different.
They're playing a different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in turn then, Mark, I think that's what your book will teach you. That it teaches a different game to play.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, did you see the Wimbledon or any of it?
No, I heard about Alcatraz.
Oh, lads. Alcatraz. What is this?
You were watching Wimbledon instead of Derry and Kerry.
I watched the highlights of it last night on the couch. What? Did I watch Derry and Kerry though? No, I was cleaning up the gaff. Yeah.
Much more important. We've swapped roles. I'm watching GAA.
Yeah. But see, you're also wearing shorts and you're going around like a dad, so you're not wearing a short now, but you wore shorts and raspberry, and that was the moment. That was the moment.
That was the key turning point, and the only person who, the only other father there, I think, that I know of other than Connor, commented on it. He's like, I love your shorts. I was wearing shorts and a belt.
Sean
chino
Roach.
shirt, Sean Roach, yeah.
Yeah.
He said, Leonie wouldn't let me wear shorts in here tonight. He's like, I think they're class. Yeah, it's a dad move. Chino shorts.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you make of Derry Kerry then?
Great game of football. Really enjoyable, yeah. Derry were very good.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of the Dublin thing that happens is you can put up to them for so long and then last 5 minutes they'll just get the second wind and that'll be it. They need James Flood. Derry.
James Flood.
They need
That's
James
the
in
difference, yeah, definitely, yeah. Although we had a loss there at the weekend, so there you go.
Yeah, your first one. So he's
First
on
one.
thin ice, I'd say.
Thin ice, yeah, exactly. His future's on the line. Speaking of which, we're delighted to confirm that Paper Tuesdays is now the managers of the Wexford Senior Hurling team.
We are, yes. What changes
meeting.
are you going to make?
What changes? Well, you're going into the coffee docks.
Well, yeah, right. We're getting new coffee docks. The lines are too big.
The lines?
Yeah, the lines are too big at the coffee docks.
Oh!
And the lions are too big.
Okay, yeah. What am I doing? Going in and getting a psychologist in with them anyway.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
I think we need fireworks before every show. Not the show.
What about training then? Would they need the fireworks before training as well or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Picture this. There's this little man called Shamey.
It's not training, it's rehearsal.
Okay, Lee. Thanks for coming to rehearsals.
And the afternoon matches are the matinees.
Right, okay. You're going a whole rebrand, really, are you?
Yeah.
The Wexford Light Opera GAs.
Bringing in hair and makeup.
Yeah, I can see that going down.
Get a few moves in.
Moves, yeah. There's a good market to that, yeah. Yeah, I like this.
Total rebrand. We are the model county.
Well, absolutely. Practice what we preach. That's what I say. Would you like another pattern?
Oh, go for it.
Actually, yes. There's one in Glinsk, which is near Offaly, and they have great crack. They used to have, I don't know if they still have a pattern there, but it was established by the Burkes. So a family of Burkes started it. Maybe it was the Enoch Burke's crowd, who knows? And there used to be great athletic sports and a great music festival. See, this is why I want this sort of pattern.
You know what it could be. I wasn't aware of what
I didn't even. I'm only reading this now, to be honest, because this was a copy and paste job. But yeah, this is my sixth sense or whatever. I knew you could have a massive sports day and you could have like the Market House Festival in the graveyard. There used to be running, jumping, weight throwing and tug of war, and also competitions on singing, dancing, band contests.
Wow.
Band contests, my goodness. Thousands used to assemble there in the day, mostly for the hearing of the pipers, the harpers and the fiddlers. There used to be a horse and pony races. My gosh, this is some graveyard. They used to have them all decorated with different colour ribbon, and they used to have their tails interweaved also. Gypsies used to be present, telling fortunes, and also a tribe of trick-the-loops, merry-go-rounds, swinging boats, and refreshment tents.
Wow. That's
This
class.
is some day. During the day, there would be all kinds of games carried on, singing and dancing such songs as Old Moore's melodies that used to be especially played by the pipers, such as The Wearing of the Green, Let Erin Remember the Days of Old, The Harp That Once Through Tara's Hall, and The Last of Rose of Summer, and many others. And on that day, the people would be highly amused after the day's proceedings, and then all would defrost in good and happy mood.
Wow.
Defrost. I've never heard of that.
Defrost in good and happy mood. I love that. We tried it last year to have the field day on as the same day as the pattern here in Castletown.
Oh, how did that go?
It didn't really work. Our main attraction was Jackie Tyrrell, and he was just there as a patron at the field day.
At the field day?
Yeah. Well, Jackie Tyrrell came to the field day, and everyone was just like, there's Jackie Tyrrell. And that was the main focal point of the field day.
All right. And why was he there?
He's a local.
Is he a local?
Yeah.
Bigger.
He couldn't make the intermediates this year, that's why you probably haven't seen him.
All right.
Maybe next year.
So when you say local, I'm going to press you on this now. Do you think he's a holidaymaker or is he a local?
No, he's a holidaymaker, I think. Isn't he? Yeah. He comes down for the...
He's one of the Joe Duffys.
Yes, yeah, one of them lads.
Yeah.
Is Joe still on the radio?
Oh, yeah. Defending the licence fee, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, as usual.
Have we any updates in Marc's news world of...
Tuberty, I believe, is in a bit of bother.
You defended him last week. So.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But that was in the past.
That was in the past, yeah. We're back in the present. Now, here is my hot take on this whole situation, and I'm not afraid to give it. What's his agent's name?
Noel Kelly.
Noel Kelly. I believe Ryan Tubridy meant no harm.
Right.
I believe Ryan Tubridy has a pure heart.
Okay.
And I love you. I think this Noel Kelly guy, I think Ryan trusted him to look after everything. And I think Noel has his finger in a lot of different pies. And I think Noel likes to squeeze the bacon for all of its fat. That's a metaphor I just made up. And I think he was like, okay, Ryan, I'll look after this. I'll go do this. He's like, Ryan, I got you some extra money. Ryan was like, oh, grand.
Yeah.
Now Ryan is in the shitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the whole thing is interesting. I think the context of time is really interesting as well. I know we were talking about it earlier, but like on the day when Ryan Tubridy made his testimony, I thought that man is an honest man. That man has saved his career there. And 2 days,
honourable man.
an honourable man, a decent man. I had a full James Flood testimony thing like that. Then 2 days later, RTE were in. RTE weren't really backing down from what they had said. And with the hindsight then, I was like, no, he had to have been telling a few lies. Well, the two of them. But and this is part of it then. Ryan could have said, look, I've parted ways with my agent. We've had a misunderstanding about the whole thing. But in Ryan fully backing Mr. Kelly, and in Ryan saying that he was comparing his role to that of a soccer player and Noel Kelly's role to that of an agent. And like that, like a soccer player, you trust the soccer player's agent to get the best deal for the soccer player.
Yeah.
So he was fully standing by the approach adopted by them. But
okay. So he was saying Noel was correct.
He was willing to go with it, but like they were saying that, oh, we thought it was RTE were paying it, but like they never knew this Astos crowd that was used as a barter account to facilitate the exchange of money or the invoice from Noel Kelly to Astos.
But Noel had previously used that Astos account for something else.
Oh.
I think that's where he was caught a little bit.
I see.
I was watching some of it there. They haven't had RTE yet, have they?
They had them on Thursday.
Did they show it?
They showed live.
Yeah.
You can watch all the committees live, but these are just seen.
Wow. Cancel all my plans. What other committees?
There's a committee on justice, education, culture, the whole...
Tidy Towns?
No Tidy Towns.
I didn't want that behind closed doors. Cowboys.
Cowboys, yeah.
Will I tell my story about what happened on Island Street the other day?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
okay, so I was I've already told you this story, but I'll retell it for the listeners. Yeah. So it was lashing rain in July, as it does, and I was driving down Clonatton, and to my left, kind of 50 yards ahead, I first spotted this lady, a rather large lady. No disrespect to her, but she was on an electric scooter flying down the hill of Clonatton, lashing rain with no helmet, and it was an odd sight, so I took note of it mentally, and I kept driving. Went down round about at Apple Green, went over the speed bump. Traffic is very bad, so I was stopping, starting, and eventually I came to a complete stop. And I look in my rearview mirror, and something is flying up behind me, and I see it's your one, and I hear a massive thud on the back of my car, and next thing she is lying across my boot, and then she slides down onto the ground, and I just went, what the fuck just happened? So I let down my side window, and she got up and walked over to my window and apologised. Now, I believe this lady probably has access to some off-label painkillers. By the way, she was talking. She was, oh, I'm very sorry about your car. And I went, the car's fine, how are you? Are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm grand, sorry again. I was going over the speed bump, I didn't see it. So I believe this lady caught air before she landed on the back of my car. And then drove off. Now, there's only a small mark on the car, but it's worth the story. So
there is a mark on the car, though.
Yeah. Oh, she went flying into the back of it, like she burst the car outside the school.
Like that car isn't made of plastic. Like.
No, it's not. Like, I'd say she'd broke up. Definitely could have fucking broke a rib or something.
My gosh.
That's why the scooters should be banned.
All right.
I have no time for those scooters.
Ash and I saw a man sheltering on his scooter on the road under a tree from the rain, but like he was stopped. And, like, imagine if a car just said, "No, stop it here now."
Yeah.
No,
Wait,
going no further. Yeah. But it's the danger element when you see that in action.
Question for the council.
Question.
Through the chair. Mobility scooters, not the ones that you stand up on, the ones, the mobility. Okay.
This is a grey area. Yes. Go
Yes.
on.
Do they drive like cars? Or do they go on the footpath?
They can go on the footpath, but there's a man in a Scotty, and he has this little pod yoke, and like he has no tax, no insurance. But he goes around the place and blocks traffic and everything, and like there's no law. Well, it's probably not legal, but there's no one really actively going out to hunt him down. So he's allowed to go around in his little pod.
And tell me this, would the council be in the market for hiring someone to go around and catch these lads? Because I am free on Sundays. But I was driving out of the Costa there, the bottom of the town, and there was a lady, and she was like in front of me as a car in traffic and indicating to go out onto the road. I just thought that's something I've never thought about before. What action?
I seen her go a bit, like she drives down like Air Street and Clooney and a go bit, and like she drive down that road a little and all, like
on the road,
in the middle of the road, like.
Yeah.
You have an issue with this?
More on this as we get it. No, I just want clarification.
Clarification.
That's all I'm asking for, Michael.
Clarification is coming, and it is that lady and anyone can do what they like.
Yes, do as you please.
Okay.
Do as
So
you
you're
please.
happy now that you got the clarification?
I just want a fucking decision. None of this grey area.
All right. So
Are they on the road or the footpath?
but this is Ireland now. This is what we're getting to. So you're okay with them being on the road or the footpath, but they can't have both.
You can't have both. No. Can I drive on the footpath? Let's see how that one works out.
Okay. This is an Instagram poll all day long.
Yeah.
Too many people have been sitting on this.
There's no pun intended.
Yes.
We'll leave that up to you. Please,
Yeah,
please let us know. Thank you very much. We've been Paper Tuesdays.
Take it easy.
Ryan is innocent.